What's up, everyone? This is Kanal with Black Man Travels. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Happy Tuesday from the Dominican Republic. Yes, I'm streaming live from the Dominican Republic. Been here for about 3 weeks. Kind of sad I'm ready to go back home. Never thought I would say that, man. I've been traveling for the past 3 months like crazy from Thailand to back to Atlanta to Miami, now in the Dominican Republic. And I have to say, man, I'm tired. Me, I am tired. I'm at a point now. I'm ready to grind. I'm ready to get my hands dirty. It's been a while that I said this, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back home, getting back to the job market, getting back to being active again. Because of course, when you're in the Dominican Republic, you can easily get lazy and gain weight here. So me being an active person, I like to keep myself involved in a lot of things, especially my kids' lives. So I kind of miss it. So I'm cutting my short trip in Dominican Republic. Been here for about 3 weeks, and I'll be heading back home soon. Just got to buy that plane ticket. But anyways, I want to start today's topic. It's going to be an interesting topic. I have a amazing guest, a travel buddy that I actually had the opportunity to get to know in Colombia, and we have some interesting things to talk about. But before we start, I just want to go ahead and just give you guys some recognition. The Passport Bros have been recognized in the mainstream, which I'm going to highlight. But before we do that, I just want to take some time to highlight. If you guys haven't checked out my website yet, please make sure to, let me see if I can share my screen. Yes, if you guys haven't checked out my website, I have a website called Black Man Travels. I've been updating the website, creating new content, sharing content. Recently got back from Thailand, so I'm actually still editing a lot of videos. I never realized I have so much content to provide to you guys, but as I said before, when I was as I'm in Dominican Republic right now, I'm kind of lazy, so I need to take the time to edit a lot of my content, but I have updated the website. Make sure you check it out. It's blackmantravels.com. I have a lot of interesting content, writing a new blog based on my experiences, but also I have tons of new pictures that I want to share with you guys. So again, if you haven't had a chance, check out blackmantravels.com. Also, if you haven't, so my mistake. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out my TikTok page, yes, I got into the TikTok. So I do have a TikTok page. It's actually picking up a lot of steam. I'm getting a lot of views. I'm actually getting members. So far, I'm at 156 followers, which is, I'm quite surprised. I just started this about a month ago, and I'm getting some views, man. So if you guys on TikTok, follow me. I follow you. I'm on TikTok as Black Man Travels. So if you get a chance, hit me up on that. I'm actually doing a lot of shorts and adding on to the TikTok, but also adding to my YouTube page as well. So guys, make sure, I am a content creator. I just don't do YouTube. I actually write blogs, write articles. I'm in the process of creating ebooks for you guys on how to travel in certain countries, how to maneuver and so forth, tips and tricks. So guys, stay tuned. My goal is to provide you guys as much information as possible to make your trip an amazing experience. So with that being said, I definitely want to take the time to recognize the Passport Bros for being recognized. Being recognized by the mainstream media as a new trend. And maybe I can just highlight this article. Yahoo News just recently recognized Passport Bro as a new movement that's hitting the social wave. I came across this article. This was published back in December 29th, 2022. Why some Black women aren't happy with the Passport movement. Guys, congratulations. You guys made it mainstream. You wanted to be heard. You wanted to be seen. Now you have it. Now the question is what you're going to do with it, with this newfound attention. Are you going to provide real travel experiences, or are you just going to continue to have other people tell your story? I'm going to read this little short excerpt, and again, we're going to start our conversation. And this article basically says the Passport Bros have officially divided our internet. A growing group of thousands of black men is preaching to more men on social media platforms that women in other countries are the best source for traditional women to settle down with. Just follow the hashtag, and you'll see black men of all ages describing their experiences with the opposite sex in other countries compared to women in the United States. Guys, again, you guys made the mainstream news now. The Passport Bro is being recognized. Now the question is, as a lot of guys get their passport, what are you about to do with that passport? And today, I want to talk about things to avoid, and particularly in women. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight some of the things that I wanted to talk about. And again, as a passport bro, you got your passport, you're now traveling the world. You have all these social media experts telling you, hey, get your passport and just go. Go travel and find your wife, your traditional wife, and so forth. Again, that should not be your reason why you're traveling, but for some people, that's the primary reason. So you go out to these countries and meet these beautiful women, all shape, size, and color. You can't help yourself. It's like, wow, these women are gorgeous. I won't find this back home. So, you start planning. You start figuring out, how can I meet these women? How can I build a relationship with these women overseas? Because I only have so much time to spend. So now, as you're in these countries, go out and enjoy yourself, network, party, mingle, do all the great things you intended to do. But your ultimate goal as a passport bro is to actually find a woman you want to settle down with, as you've been communicating to the public. You want to find a good wife, to have a family, have kids. But the problem is, a lot of guys don't know how to recognize a lot of the BS that comes with traveling. It's a lot of signs that guys overlook that tend to accept, that they don't accept in the States, but yet they ignore overseas. So this is your chance now to listen, take some tips and tricks on how to avoid certain type of women while overseas. Because again, guys, there's a lot of BS is being played, and you need to know as far as how to respond to these antics that some of these foreign women will actually play with you if you don't pay attention to the red flags. So I invited a special guest, Mr. Solo Traveler ORD. He's going to sit down with me, and we're going to talk about some of the things to avoid certain type of people while overseas. So this is a great chance to talk about it. I guess it's the best time to introduce him. So, Solo, how you doing, man?
Hey, what up, man? What's up, Black Man Travels? Thanks for having me on. As always, it's a pleasure.
Hey, not a problem, man. So what do you think of this whole passport bro movement? Everybody's picking up steam. Now that we made the mainstream, everyone's looking at us. Everyone's paying attention how we move and how we operate. But the question is, with a lot of the recent news, a lot of guys are getting drugged, robbed, killed. A lot of bad things are happening to a lot of black men, not even black men, passport bros, guys with passports that are traveling. So for someone like yourself who is married to a beautiful Colombian woman, what are some of the things to avoid in finding a mate overseas? Let's talk about that.
This is perfect. You know what? Because the thing about it is, I actually did a live about this last week, and I'm kind of glad that I got a chance to redo this or even talk about this, because last time when I did the live, I was sick and I just couldn't really get into details of what I really wanted to say. So this gives me the opportunity to really get into details about each and every one of those subjects of the type of women to avoid, especially, vetting as far as being your girlfriend or even your wife. So, and I haven't had a chance to go over this list with you, unfortunately, because we've been busy. I know I've been busy this afternoon, but nonetheless, if you don't mind, if I could just shoot them out, and you want to go back through each and every one of those in details, or so, want me to tell you all five?
You know what? Let's talk about each five, but each one, let's spend some time on each of the categories.
Oh, perfect. Then you know what? We could go with the first. We go with the first one, or do you want me to just say all five, and then we could start with the first one, or just or you want me to
you know what?
First one?
Whatever works for you. I'll follow your lead.
Okay. So here, this is what I'll do. I'll say all five, and then we'll go back to the first one, and we'll go detail per detail each one of these, so that everyone would know exactly what we're going to talk about, and to give you guys some details on it. So with the first one, I want to start by saying, the type of women you want to avoid, the people you want to deal with are the party girls. That's number one. Number two, you don't want to deal with the druggy girls, the girls that love to get high and be on drugs and so forth. You don't want that. Number three, you don't want, of course, and I'm referencing Colombia more so with most of this list. You don't want to deal with the pre-pagos, which is basically the pros. This is, of course, we're talking about searching for mates and things of that nature. The next thing is you don't want to deal with women with a lot of kids. You don't want to deal with that. And the last thing, you don't want to deal with a gold digger. Those are the top five I could go off of. Of course, I'm sure people have more they can add to that list, but these are just the top five that we're going to go with, that we're going to speak on. And I'm sure you may have more you want to touch on. Black Man Travels. However, if you want me, we could start with the first one, the party girls.
Yes, let's go ahead and talk about the first one. Definitely.
All right, perfect. So the thing about it is that the reason why I say you want to avoid these party girls is because here's the thing. You got to look at it just like how you would vet a girl in the States. It's the same way. Do you really want to deal with a party girl in the States? Because we all know these party girls, they're typically, promiscuous. They are always on scene. They want a lot of attention. Do you really want to be bothered with that? Because here's the thing. Let's say, for example, you start to talk with a party girl, and there's going to be times when you just want to chill and get to know them, but they're going to want to continuously go out. Then comes the disrespectfulness of basically she might start going out until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're wondering what's really going on. So that's another reason why you don't want to deal with these party girls. Also, one thing about these party girls is that let's say if you're dealing with a woman overseas, they're usually dealing with a lot of men because they're always on the scene, they're always party, they know a lot of people. It's hard for them to really settle down because they have a lot of friends, male friends, that is. Secondly, a lot of these women that are party girls, they usually mess with not only gringos, but they mess with the locals. So they're constantly going back and forth between the well, and it's going to be hard for you to even try to have them to settle down. So that's one thing. Those are some of the things, details I could say about party girls that you don't want to be bothered with them. And I'm sure you may want to add additional reasons why.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that you spoke on, a lot of great points. One thing I'd like to add to is that look at her Instagram page. If you notice she's constantly partying, constantly in the VIP section, constantly traveling, like how can someone constantly travel to multiple cities or multiple countries? Pay attention to that, guys, because again, you're not the only gringo that she's messing with. And more than likely, she probably have others that's catering to her lifestyle. I pay attention to things like that. And also, too, is for someone who parties constantly, that tells me she doesn't have a job, she doesn't go to school, she doesn't take anything serious. So be mindful of that, because if her first priority is having a great time and constantly traveling here and there, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But for someone that lives in a certain country, she doesn't have the means to travel. Who's supporting her lifestyle? Who's buying those bottles? Who's buying those hookahs? Pay attention, guys. And again, a lot of the information you could get, look at her WhatsApp status. Look at her Instagram. Like little things like that, guys don't pay attention. Like, well, she's just going out. Like, well, if she's constantly just showing herself and not her friends, that's a red flag.
Yep. Exactly. And just remember, as she's doing these trips, she's not going to show you if you take on a trip. I think that's kind of disrespectful. How I sit here and spent all this money to take you on a trip and you won't even show me your pictures, your status. I feel some type of way. I feel like, hold on a second, what's going on here? You making it seem like you're without me, but I'm putting up all this money. So yeah, that's a negative for me. And just like the points you said, I agree with those wholeheartedly. Check all those boxes of the Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, all of that stuff.
Yeah, that tells a lot about a person. If she's very conservative, she's not out and about. She's probably home. You could video chat her anytime and she'll be available to her. If you notice this person is not available whenever you need to speak to them or want to speak to them, that's a red flag.
Yep. And just like you said, one of the things, someone is financing her lifestyle.
Yep.
You want to be a part of that.
And keep in mind, guys, A lot of you guys are traveling to the same cities of these countries, partying in the same clubs, same, meeting, talk to the same girls on Instagram, Facebook, Tinder, of all places. So don't ever think that you're the only guy. I mean, unless you take the time to really go out into that country to meet a quality person, and she's actually going to school, she's working, and she's actually showing you, and she's not afraid to speak to, she's not afraid to share her pictures and experiences with you on her Facebook status, then you got a good one. But if she hesitates, red flag.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and especially with her family, meeting her family, all of that is all red flags, And of course, there is times when you can have that one person that will share you with their family, whatever, playing the game or whatever. But more than likely, 9 times out of 10, she's very serious. She's trying to show you to her family and so forth. So, that's basically what's out there. Of course, we're always trying to be careful.
True. Now let's move on to the next red flag.
All right. So the next one would be the druggy girls. What I like to call them. These are the girls that, let's say, for example, let's use Colombia for example. These are the girls that love doing 2C, love doing the C word. I don't know if you can say that on YouTube. I don't want to mess you up. These girls that are constantly doing these substance, basically it could put you in a bad situation, because these girls, at times, depending on how their mood, they could go through mood swings. 1 minute everything is all good, next thing you know, she could be flipping out, and that could actually get you kicked out of your Airbnb or whatever you got going on. So you don't want to be in that situation. She could make false accusations against you while you're overseas. That's the last thing you want to do. So putting yourself in that environment, in that situation, you don't want to be in that. Also, you can have the situation that she overdosed because she's having too much fun. You don't want to be in that situation, because now you got to explain what happened. You have someone who may have passed away in your presence, and now you got to answer to the police. You might even have to answer to the embassy. Do you really want to put yourself through that situation? So you got to be careful when you're dealing with a lot of these women that are doing these substance that could put you in a bad situation, and her, and of course they can even put that on you. They could actually, if the police comes, they could actually, stick you up for some money because they see the substance and everything that is there. So also the last thing I want to talk about with that is that you have they might be a fun girl, but at first, but they become to be a bit toxic. These type of women, they could become abusive. They could be not only physical, but even verbally abusive, because they're not in their right mind. Like I said, the doctor Hyde and Dr. Jekyll, I may have, messed it up, but nonetheless,
We kind of lost you there, Solo. I know that you're dealing with some technical issues on your end, but just to chime in what Solo was saying, I totally agree with you. I've seen that. Oh yeah, we kind of lost you there, Solo. So I kind of chimed in a little bit.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. My PC.
No, it's all good. But I just want to chime in what you said. It's like I've personally experienced what you just talked about. I had a friend of mine. We traveled together. He actually met a lady, and she was on this stuff, on the Tootsie, and she went flip mode on him, like from having a good time to flip mode square, to the point where police had to come over, and it was just a bad situation, man. Where I had to literally pay off the cop, like, hey, listen, we just want her gone, whatever, because she was basically just flipping out. And again, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and my boy was nervous, so I had to take control of the situation, and I'm like, okay. We need to get rid of this as soon as possible. And when police is here, let me just pay them off. Hey, this is what it is. We need you guys to move to leave. They took the girl out, whatever. But guys, be mindful of that. Even for a good time, stay away from those types, man. Because again, they can put you in a shitty situation where once the police are involved, you're done. You're done. And I totally agree with you. I try to avoid anyone who uses excessive amount of drugs, excessive amount of drinking. For some reason, when I travel, I drink light, but when you meet someone who drinks excessively, there's something going on in their life, and you don't want to be the problem solver. So, guys, always be mindful of the person you're talking to, the person you may have an interest in, is that you don't want to be her Superman. Trust me, because when they see you as a gringo, they see a Superman, and it's just like you don't want to carry on. If there's certain things you're not tolerating in the States, why go overseas and tolerate there?
That's facts.
Facts, no fencing.
There we go.
Yeah, man. I definitely need that soundboard, man. It's weird solo because DR, all I have is my laptop and my headphones. But back home, I got all my stuff. I'm like, damn, I feel so naked without it.
I know the feeling, man. Especially when you trying to travel light.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move on to the next.
Actually, I also want to add one more thing about that, about the drug. Here's the thing. I actually had a situation. The woman wasn't even on drugs. I actually had to deal with some crazy situation like that. I was actually in the ER. This was actually my first time meeting this woman, and I met her from a friend. A friend actually brought her with her on a trip, and I was in Punta Cana. And the original girl that I was supposed to be spending time with, she had to leave early because something happened with her son. So I actually spent the time with this one girl for 2 extra days. And at the end of the trip, she started talking crazy about crazy amount of money, for me to give her. And I'm like, wait a minute, I done took care of you throughout the whole trip. Did everything you needed from, feeding you, entertainment, whatever you think of. And you never even said anything about this. So you got to be careful of those type of women too that will, spring stuff up at you at the last minute. Always try to have, talk to them up front. Make sure you have all your stuff up front, ducks in a row with them. So you know what's going on. So that's one thing I can say from my own personal experience from dealing with a lot from these women and so forth.
I totally agree with that.
So the next thing would be the pre-pagos.
It's gonna be interesting problem to highlight. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I don't have too much to really talk about it because it is what it is. These are the women that are, you've seen in, Parkage Jadis, you'll see that, the call girls that will be on a Tinder or whatever you could think of. And these women will play the GFE. They will play like it's your girlfriend. That they're your girlfriends, and they will give you that whole experience. And the problem is that a lot of brothers will fall for it because it feels so real while they're playing this role. And a lot of times as they're doing this, as they're playing this role, you got to remember, it's all a role to get the money that they need because they're selling a service. So, you want to look out for that because they're looking for the quick money. They're going to always want, money up front, or they're going to look for money at the end of your, enjoyment with them. So just be cognizant that this is the type of woman that you're dealing with. You're not going to get nothing else out of it. She's just looking for, the opportunity to pay her bills, per se. Or you don't want to be in the situation of taking on one of these types of girls because of the fact that she always need money. So she's going to be, once you leave, she's going to be on to the next person. She's always got a whole Rolex of people that she's going through. She's been used up. So you don't want that type of woman. And I'm sure you got money into it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I had a friend of mine, his first trip to Dominican Republic, we met, he went to Santo Domingo, then he came up to Sissuba to meet up with me. And he met some girls on Tinder in Santo Domingo. And every girl he met were giving the sad story, like they needed money to catch the bus. They need the money to pay for the babysitter. I'm saying, like, listen, as soon as they ask for money, any type of thing, cut them loose. And, of course, he listened somewhat, but he invited a few people to come over. Mm-hmm. And they all wanted something. It was kind of, and for him, he was surprised by that. And I told him, like, well, that's what you expect, man. You're in another country. They see you as someone that has the means. So they didn't give you any sad story, sad reason for them for them to come over. And once they come over, the goal is to get as much money as possible out of you. They'll give you that experience that you want, but at the end of the day, they just want the money. So guys, be careful with the women you meet on Tinder or even some of these social media sites. Are they genuine with their intentions? Because the thing is, a lot of them do disguise themselves as the girlfriend experience, but they really are not. And he had to learn that, people will literally charge you for their time. So a lot of stuff that you try to avoid in the States, you talk crap about women in the States, dude, you meeting the same overseas. And if anything, I think they're worse because they're hiding it. So they'll give you this so-called experience that you want, but there's a cost behind it. So don't ever think, everything is free out here, because it's not. I'm in Dominican Republic right now, and there's nothing free. And it's just like, even when I'm out, I'm always hearing some type of sad story. And I'm like, all right, I'm tired of hearing this. So
at least one thing I like about it, the difference from the States and from here is the fact that in the States is more covert. And the fact that, out of the United States, at least they will let you know, if you're not, if you're not green, they will let you know. If they see a sucker, they will take advantage of that opportunity. That's one good thing about it.
But let's be honest, a lot of guys who are getting their passport for the first time and come to these countries, they somewhat do have that sucker on top of their head because they don't know. And it's out of ignorance. It's not their fault, but it's out of ignorance. They think that, just grab your passport and come to these countries and everything will be fine. Like, no, everyone knows what you're coming here to do. And they want to play that game. It's like, you got to be smart if you want to participate, or you don't want to participate.
Exactly. And especially going to those certain areas, you go into those certain areas and, you think you're going to get, a diamond out of that one area. Come on, you're definitely fishing in the wrong location. You don't want to fish there, so
you big dummy.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And again, this was his first trip to San Domingo, and again, a good friend of mine. And again, he was surprised that, and I think it's gonna be one of your talking points, how all the crazy stories that they were making up: cancer, diabetes, deathbed, your child is sick, or if I come over to your place or meet up with you, we need to pay for my babysitter. I'm like, babysitter in the Dominican Republic? Ain't no babysitters in the Dominican Republic. You just drop the baby off to your mom's house and you keep it moving. But they don't know that. So it's just like I had to literally school him. It's like, listen, avoid this, avoid that. And again, just be mindful who you speaking to. Because again, they're just selling you a dream.
Exactly. Oh, and here's another signal, about the girl that that she isn't the right one. For example, if she first comes to your house, and I notice this in DR a lot. If she comes to your house and the first thing she does is go straight into your refrigerator, nah.
Well, I never heard of that one. Talk more about that one.
Oh, but I had a few times, that of course, I've dabbled. I had some fun, dealing with
of course,
women out there, and and I'm just saying, for all those other people, that don't know the past, but there was a lot of times when I've had these women, that I'm, having fun with. As soon as they come into the house, the first thing they do is go straight to the refrigerator. I'm like, what are you looking for? I'm paying to have fun with you, and the first thing you do is go into my refrigerator, try to get something out of my refrigerator. I'm like, nah. So I'm like, you gotta go. I don't got time for that.
Hey, but we do have some comments. I just want to take some time to recognize Bert Ross. Good evening, everyone. What's up, Bert? How you doing? Marty, stay away from those barrio chicks. QB flexing. What's good? What's up, QB? And of course, Traveler Lover, salute brothers, appreciate the advice to subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. And Marty again, stop trying to save every girl overseas. It's not your job. Which is true, guys. It's not your job. Guys, look, you're coming to a country where a lot of people don't have a lot of means. They see you as someone who have means. Granted, you probably make $40,000 a year or more. Dude, you can't take care of two families. You just can't. And the thing is, you got to be mindful. If you are prepared to have a relationship overseas, be prepared to come out of pocket, because you will be spending a lot of money traveling back and forth. Yep. And as much as people don't want to talk about, you will have to send her some money to put her in a good situation if you do see something wifey of her. Yep. Now, if she's just someone you're just having fun with, then, just do the bare minimum. But someone you want to take serious, trust me, it's going to start costing you some money.
Especially in Latin America, especially out there.
All right, man. Look at this one. They hide behind the girlfriend experience when they are really pros. Yeah, you just talked about that, Steve. I mean, Solo.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on to the next one, man. This is great, man. Because again, I know you and I, we both have a lot of stories to share, And again, guys, I've been fooled by the girlfriend experience a couple of times,
Mhm.
where I thought I met a good one, but she was undercover. And
Yep.
again, we all get played, man. I'm not going to sit and say that this never happened to me, but I've been doing this for quite a while where I could see the signs now. Solo can see the
Yep.
signs now, and I advise guys, okay, listen, these are the red flags. Now, if you choose to ignore them and continue to mess with them, that's on you. But I'm telling you
Yep.
what the red flags are. But a lot of guys
Yep.
get stuck on stupid on the looks, get stupid, stupid on the sex, and
Yep.
they
I was
just
gonna say.
bypass. Yeah, they literally bypass all the red flags, and next you know, man, she cheated on me. Like, bro, you kind of somewhat knew. I knew, but looking at her profile, she's a pro, bro. It's what it
Yeah.
is.
Exactly. But just for you guys that are actually joining in, just so you guys know from the just the topics that we actually went over, just so you guys know, we actually the first thing that we talked about was the party girls. The second thing we talked about was the druggy girls, and right now we're currently on the pre-pongos, or the GFEs. So the next one we're going to go into is girls with kids. You know, and when I say this, it's a little different. So I'm gonna say it like this. If you're a single man that doesn't have kids, I don't expect you to deal with another woman that has kids. You shouldn't have to do that. That's something you shouldn't do. You should be looking for a woman that doesn't have kids, because there's several reasons for that. Because if you never had kids, you don't know what is it like to deal with someone who has kids. The patience that comes into that. And the amount of money you have to invest into that. So make sure you invest into yourself with the woman that doesn't have a child. If you don't have kids, that is. I'm talking about that situation. Now, I understand if you have a child and you want to deal with a woman with a child. I'm not here to police any man, any grown man that do what he wants to do. I'm not going to sit here and call you a simp, whatever. No, that's not my job. I don't care. But I'm only giving out warning signs that if you do deal with a woman, with kids, hopefully you have kids your own self, because you guys have something that you guys could relate to. You guys have an understanding, because she has a kid, you have a child, you both know that what it takes to raise a child, and so forth. And then the biggest issue I'm gonna say is that when choosing a woman that has kids, you want to make sure that she doesn't have no more than two, because that becomes to be very expensive. You don't want to be bothered with that. Now
So
you definitely becoming to be like a sugar daddy, whatever, because she's always going to have issues. She's always going to need help. You don't need that stress on yourself, especially since you're traveling back and forth. It's already like Black Man Travel said. It's expensive traveling back and forth. If you're going once a month or even every other month, all of that adds up, including the hotel, including if you even rent a car or just Uber, or an apartment, or a hotel. All of that stuff adds up, and then also she's looking for you to help her out. So you want to avoid women with multiple kids, indefinite, in Latin America, or wherever you go to, Asia, Africa, whatever. But like I said, if you're a single man with no kids, don't do it. Choose another woman. That's just me. She might be fine, but just remember, you got a lot of responsibilities you're gonna be jumping into.
I would say I have a one child minimum. I have two sons, but if someone that I do get involved, she's only allowed to have one child. I can't do two kids. And also, too, the father needs to be involved.
Yep.
I don't want to hear this story. The father's gone. No, he's there. You just choose not to mess with. It's like, no, the father needs to be involved in that child's life. So I'm not against dating a woman, domestic or overseas, with a child, because I have two kids of my own. I have a 19-year-old and I have an 11-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
But I do expect somehow to be some type of synergy between her and her kid's father. I don't want to hear any bad blood, any issues that's happening. Because if I come to the country and I'm around you and the child, the father sees me, he has an issue with that. There's a fight going on or whatever. I just don't want no drama. So there's certain things that I look for. If I am dating someone overseas and she does have a child, she's only allowed to have one. I can't do two. I mean, some guys are more flexible, and also too, the child needs to be like, there has to be some type of relation between the father.
Yep.
And I don't want to hear, we don't get along. No. That's not my problem. And it's just like, guys, and I tell this to my sons, I tell this to my nephews, guys, if you are single with no kids, you should not be dating women with a child. It's what it is.
Yep.
You should not. Now, if you have a kid, dude, you can be flexible because you understand being. Oh well, actually, if you are an active father, because there's a lot of dudes out there that will have kids but not active. But if you're an active father, you can relate to a woman who has a child because we're both in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're single without a kid, why would you put yourself in a position to deal with a woman who has a child?
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense. I don't care how fine she is. I mean, granted, you want to have a good time, do you, keep it moving. But don't try to sell a dream, man. Especially don't try to sell a dream to a child, which a lot of guys do. I've seen a lot of guys who go to these countries, try to sell a dream, and man, this stuff fizzles, and the girl's jaded. And just like, just be mindful of that, man, because like Solo said, man, if you're not ready for that, don't put yourself in that situation.
Exactly. And I could tell you from my personal experience, I have 3 kids. I have 3 girls. So here's the thing. My wife, she actually has a child. So I actually met the father of her son. And here's the thing. Their relationship is so cool because the father of her son actually, remarried to another woman. Them two, they're cool as hell. They talk all the time. So I'll be over there with them chilling at the house, and we be all cool. She has kids, her own kids, that she had prior to meeting, the ex-husband, whatever. But man, one thing I'm gonna say that his new wife, she bad as hell. I be looking like, damn, that fine. But
and that's the thing. Like even in my situation, Solo. I mean, my ex-wife, she moved on with a boyfriend. I met him. We actually went out and had beer together. We sat down, we talked, and it was a man-to-man conversation. Like, listen, you're gonna be around my son. My youngest son has special needs. He's autistic, and he's aware of that. He's very caring, and it's just like there was a mutual respect between him and I. And I told him, listen, I'm not a threat to you. I just want to make that clear. I'm not a threat to you. I have no interest in getting back with my ex. Whatever happened between you guys, that's you guys. But if you're around my child, I expect you to act accordingly.
Yep.
The same goes for anyone who has a child. I would love to meet the father of that child. Trust me, I'd be the quick, hey, can I meet him? So I want to let him know, like, hey, listen, especially, if it's a daughter or a son, like, hey, listen, she'll be in good hands with me. So, and again, I don't care if anyone calling me a simp or beta. And look, I'm a grown fucking man. I do the fuck I want, when I want, how I want. And it's just like all these new titles and texts being thrown out there for guys to shame guys. The same guys who are throwing those titles are the same ones doing the same exact thing behind closed doors.
Yeah, doing worse.
Doing it. Man, look, again, Solo, you and I have been in this game for quite a while. We've been in these WhatsApp groups for quite a while. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when and these guys are talking that mess, it's like, bruh, really, you saying all this? But again, guys, if you don't have any kids, there's no reason for you to go to another country to deal with a woman who has a child. And same issues, the same mindset you have in the States, keep it while going overseas. Don't make an exception because you're overseas. It doesn't work like that. Because if you decide to marry this person and bring this person back to the US or stay in that country, you have full responsibility of that child as well.
Yeah, that's facts.
Facts, no fencing.
All right. When we can move on to the next one when we touch on the next one. So the last one. So once again, for those of you joining in, this is we talked about the top 5, and of course you guys have different, you may have different things in your top 5, whatever. And we're not saying that this is a definite list. This is just the list that I believe that these are the top 5 things you may want to look at. These are the top 5 red flags on my list. So just to start from the top again, before we touch on the last one, party girls. We talking about the drug girls, talking about the pre-pagos, the GFE girls. We're talking about the girls with kids. Not the last one. We're gonna go over gold diggers. These are the girls you definitely want to stay away from. They might be fun girls, only good for fun, but they have expensive taste, and they will always try to get you to spend your money on them, on expensive gifts, restaurants, activities, They even try to get you to pay for their house. And so you want to watch out for these type of women. They'll tell you to pay their rent, while they sit at home and do nothing and chop it up with their girls, or even have another dude. They can even have a dude living there with them. You know what I mean? So, or just having just a whole family there, and they want you to pay for everything. So they want, like I said, they want the expensive gifts like jewelry. They know about what goes on up here. They know about the expensive watches, the nice gold chain. They know about the nice Nike shoes, the Jordans. About the Uggs. They even know about Tims. So they may even ask you for a pair of Tims. They're gonna always want the nice little clothes. They're looking for Fashion Nova. Shein a little, cheaper, but hey, so they might walk really good. The body's sexy and everything. They're just good for fun, because in the end of the day, as you're dealing with them, they want to empty out your pockets. They always want money. So I'm sure you want to add more to that.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, like whenever I go on a date, especially while overseas, when a girl instantly picks the most expensive item on the menu, that's a red flag. Because I'm like, you don't make this amount of money. Why would you pick that? If you had the money in your pocket, would you pick the same item? More than likely, no. But the fact that you're paying for it, they're gonna pick the most expensive item, even though they don't know what it is, they'll still pick it. They take a picture for it on Instagram. Yeah. I've seen this happen many, many, many times. And also too, they will ask for. These are the same ones that will ask you for like some outrageous items, like, can you bring me a PlayStation, like PlayStation 5? Like, do you know what a PlayStation 5 costs? So, guys, be mindful of that, man, because again, they see you as an opportunity, guys, especially now with this whole passport bro movement. Guys are traveling to these countries in droves. They assume that you have the money. Money's not a thing, especially guys that are making it rain in these clubs. Hey, if you could throw money in the air like that, like you don't care, that means you got the money. And guess what? I'm going to test you. And of course, as a sucker as you are, you're going to try to prove to her that you got money, so you go out there and buy it. Knowing damn well that $500-$600 you just spent is going to hurt you for the next 2 months, the next 30 days. So, guys, just be mindful of that, man, because again, they see you guys come in promoting their country on YouTube and everything else. Dude, you don't think they're watching all this? You don't think they're watching how you move, the jewelry that you carry, the Air Force Ones, the Jordans, and you making it rain in the club? You don't think they paid attention to that? Hence why they continue to increase their prices. Come on, guys. So don't complain, man, because again, a lot of you guys are going there unknowing, not understanding how economic works in those countries, and they're grossly overpaying for everything. I've met guys who were so lazy enough not to exchange their dollars for pesos.
I think you might have lost you.
Can you hear me? I think I lost you, Steve. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, guys. I've met guys who've gone to these countries. Steve, they were using dollars in these countries. They didn't even think about exchanging their dollars for that country's currency. So they were instantly paying everything in dollars. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're shortchanging yourself. But again, a lot of guys have this weekend warrior mentality. They go to these countries, they feel like, I can afford anything. Bro, these countries could get really expensive real fast.
Hell yeah. And the funny thing is, you notice that now even these gold diggers are actually running around telling other women only accept dollars. I have videos of these women talking about only accept dollars. They're taking their money and showing the women like, see this? Throw it away. Only deal with dollars, and they showing $100 bills. I'm like, yo, yeah, man.
you know what? Solo, like, you ever see those phone cases that have the dollar inside of the phone case? Stay away from those guys. Stay away. That's a status symbol for them. If you know a girl has a dollar, like a dollar currency or any type of American currency within her phone cover, stay away from that, guys. That's a red flag.
Marty said it right. So yeah, they want a monthly stipend. Yep. You know, it's the funny thing. You notice that these girls are always unemployed. but order the expensive plate. They know all the expensive stuff will be unemployed and want that stipend.
But the thing is, so yeah, a lot of guys are providing. Look, I've known guys who are sending thousands of dollars a month, $1,000 a month to a chick that he never met. She sold him on a dream. Yeah. So, look, a lot of these WhatsApp groups, I'm in those WhatsApp groups. I stay quiet. I don't comment. I don't say anything. I just read the stuff. I'm like, wow, that's how it is now. I mean, just like the incident, what happened to the guy who went to Columbia to start a business, he was gunned down. You remember that? It happened during the pandemic.
Yeah, I remember that.
I personally think that his fiance had to say on that. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, that's a touchy subject, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just, yeah. But one thing is, guys, you need to be careful is that the sick story. You want to talk about that, Solo? The sick story, like, their dad has cancer, or mommy has cancer, the baby's dying, whatever. Like, let's talk about that because they use it a lot.
In the infamous, they'll send you a picture of the refrigerator with like one or two things in there, or just fully empty. After they cleaned it out, like, get out of here! You clean up your refrigerator. How the hell your refrigerator look that clean with just one thing in there? Come on now.
I've seen the refrigerator empty. I've seen the fake IV stuck into their arm.
Hospital.
Hospital, or their dying grandparent and dying mom and dad. I'm like, really? Like, you gotta be that low. Yeah, bro. And it's like, this is a random picture of somebody else. But they'll say, oh, my child has cancer. We need to buy this expensive medicine to cure him. I'm like, you can't cure cancer with a medicine. And it's just some of the stuff a lot of guys fall for. Guys, again, with more of you guys traveling to these countries, normally they know you're coming to experience that love that you're lacking overseas, lacking back home. Be mindful of the signs out there, because the signs are there. And we just tend to overlook because we see a beautiful woman and we see, someone that we have a great time with, that we overlook certain things. And guys, it's just crazy. I've seen and heard a lot of stories, man. And
even the instant death out of nowhere. They hold on to the same picture, like maybe might be 5-6 years old, and they'll send it over to you like, oh, my father just passed away. Oh, my uncle just passed away. I need money. We gotta bury them right now.
What's worse? It's my birthday.
Oh,
that's the most popular. It's like, you can talk to 10 people. The next day is their birthday. This week is their birthday. Like, all 10 you guys have the same birthdays. So guys, just be mindful of that. And also too, never, ever, ever send money before ever meeting them.
Exactly.
Like, Steve, you want to speak on that? Sending money without ever meeting them?
Before I talk about sending money, about the birthday part, if a woman says that it's her birthday, make sure you get her Facebook, because if it really truly was her birthday, especially Dominican women, they love to put that countdown up of how many hours it is until their birthday. You'll know if it truly is her birthday or not, because they're gonna flash it on Facebook. It'll let you know. That's one thing. So like now, and now the next thing, what was the question again? What did you want me to talk about?
In regards,
Oh yeah, sending money.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah.
So, you don't want to be that Western Union poppy that has never ever met a woman you sending money. That could be anybody. That could be a man that you're talking to. You know what I mean? I've heard the stories of dudes sending money and they never even video chat with that woman. Don't even know anything truly about them. So and here's the biggest red flag. As soon as you first talk to the woman, she's already asking for money. Wait a minute, we only got like 3 sentences into this, and you're like, you need money? Nah. so like,
yeah, you froze up there. So one thing to always remember: be careful of the ones who send pictures of themselves, like nude pics. Whenever they start,
you don't want to do.
Yeah. One thing I want to chime into what Solo was saying is that be careful of the ones who send nude pics of themselves, like just randomly. Because trust me, those are the same pictures that they're sending to everybody else.
Everybody got the pictures.
Everybody got those pictures, man. So don't think you're special because you're not special. So,
or they're sending someone else nude pictures at times, not even them. Shoot, they'll grab it from someone else. But
hey, Solo, so what do you thought about this comment here? The House of Lamar, even if they video chat you, they have their husbands that coach them on getting money from dudes.
Yo, I've seen that too. Yo, I actually have a story on this. Some woman hit me out the blue in the DR, and basically she was like, "Hey, what's up?" She framed me on Facebook. She's like, "Hey, let's start talking," and then we instantly jumped to WhatsApp, and I'm just just chatting. I'm like, okay, whatever, just another girl, whatever. Of course, I already know the game. She's already probably gonna be asking me for money, whatever. But I'm video chatting with her, and I hear in the background, she doesn't know that I could speak Spanish. I hear the guy in the background like, you need this type of money, or say this, or just coaching her on what to say. I'm just watching like, the hell, you must really think I'm a sucker. As if I don't hear what's going on.
A lot of guys will fall for that, and that's the sad truth. A lot of guys will fall for that. I mean, Bandana Travel says these dudes can't even handle Keisha. They're definitely not ready for Maria in Colombia. It's true, guys. A lot of these women overseas are a lot craftier and getting to what they want. So just because you hear bashing a certain group here in the States and you think like grass is greener on the other side, be careful. Like, be careful.
And they will use the simplest thing of just their femininity. They could just use that and they got you. If you've never really, tasted that before, especially in the States when it's really hard to feel that, they could easily get that out of you with just talking to you nice and softly and give you some nice little compliments. They could easily get that out of you. So you gotta be cognizant of what's going on. Just like you say, over time you start seeing it. You gotta be in the game for a while to see these red flags. Don't fall for the BS.
Hey, what are your thoughts on this comment by J Law 345? If a dude isn't married to a chick, he shouldn't be helping her out financially. J Law, it doesn't work like that in Latin America and most countries. If you're in a relationship with any woman in that country, they expect you to carry your weight. Is what it is. Now, when you're married, that's a whole different level. But that's why we said be mindful who you decide to claim, because there's a lot of them out there playing games. But this is the one you want to vet. There's a vetting process that you need to actually do. If you decide to vet this person and decide to make it official, you are expected to carry some financial weight. Is what it is, bro.
Exactly. Never, we say never send it at first before you. Like, I would never ever send them any if I've never even met them before. We gotta have to go on a date. I gotta have to feel your vibe. I gotta know, that you're good. I gotta actually go, visit your house and make sure everything's all good before I start even, taking care of you. So, that you gotta really vet these women. You don't want to be taken as a sucker. I know that, like I say, you don't want to get caught up by the femininity. You don't want to fall for that trap. So that, just like what you were saying, as a man in Latin America, you gotta pull your weight, but with the right one.
And there's a comment by Cactus Jack. I've never been asked for money. Again, I've been asked for money plenty of times, and I've been doing this for a long time. But guess what I say? I just say no. I simply just no, and I block them. But the thing is, you have a lot of guys who've never been exposed to these women. And again, the women getting some level of attention, they'll fall for it. It's what it is. No one's not immune to it.
Yeah, and even a woman that has a regular job, you got to remember, is most of these countries, these women that are working, they're still not making a lot of money as their male counterparts. They're not. They're barely making. What a lot of times they don't even leave home because whatever they're making, doesn't even help them to live on their own. So. You got to remember, they might be looking for some type of assistance. They may not even say it directly, but they're going to ask for something. It's going to be in a subtle way.
Yeah, guys. And again, if you're out there to have fun, continue to do that. Let your intentions be known and keep it moving. But for the guys who are out there looking for something more sustainable, like a relationship that leads to marriage and having a family, make sure make sure you have a vetting process. The same vetting process you have in the States, apply it overseas. Don't overlook certain things because they're beautiful or you're having great sex with them. There's certain things that you need to actually put them through to really test their loyalty. But also too, guys, and I want to say this, and Steve, you could solo, you could actually chime in on this as well, guys. If you don't date dumb chicks in the States, don't date dumb chicks overseas, man. For me, dude, you got to have a college degree overseas. It is what it is. I understand you may not have a job, but that shows me that you had some level of commitment to finish your education. You have guys going to these countries and settling with women who have not even a high school education, a sixth grade education. And the thing is, you expect this person to become a hard worker when she's not. If she's a party person, druggies, spoiled chicken, and you decide to bring her back to the States or have a relationship with them, she's the same person. So for me, you want to date that go getter, that person that went to 4 years of college, that decided to study and learn something. Those are the ones you want, but most of you guys don't pick those.
Yep, exactly. And I look at it as this, it's all up to what you decide to go with. Just know, just like you said, if you're gonna choose someone who doesn't have the education, just know that you're gonna be, you're gonna be holding on to the most of the burden, no matter what. That's the way it is. Opposed to someone who is educated. She's gonna be she would not have no problems working and helping out and bringing in money. So it's up to what you're looking for. If you're looking for more so the traditional wife, whatever, and you'll find some that actually have careers that don't mind to be a traditional wife as well, stay at home. But one of the biggest thing is, of course, vet for you, what you looking for, what you want. We can't let you, we can't tell you what type of woman to choose or what you want, and which we would say prefer the educated one, because those are the ones that will also stimulate your mind. What I mean? Have a good conversation. So, and one of my biggest thing is a woman with common sense. A woman with a lot of common sense. I like those type of women as well, because you can have women that could be book smart, but it's like you be looking like, what the hell are you doing? What I mean? Like, like why are you doing this type of stuff? There's common sense that you shouldn't do this. Why do I have to tell you not to do this? Like, you should already know this. Don't act stupid. Don't be stupid. So, that's another thing I'll throw out there.
Just to chime in on that, I think too, common sense, but also an effort to communicate with you. You have a lot of guys who meet women who make no effort to communicate with them. So they use Google Translate. You can't have an effective relationship utilizing Google Translate. It's not going to work. To be honest, it's awkward. So guys, if you're not willing to put in the effort to learn her language, or she's not putting the effort to learn your language, it's not going to work out.
Exactly. The women, they don't like that. I mean, they may start, like from the start, they may deal with it, but they really like to have a conversation. And especially in Latin America, they love to talk. They love to gossip. They want to talk. And if they have to write that out every single time, I have to read what you're saying, it's just it kind of makes the conversation, very slow. It slows down the conversation, and they become to be uninterested, because why do you have to stop every single time you're doing something to try to talk to the person? Vice versa. It's not fun. One thing I say is that, for me, since I do speak pretty decent Spanish, I could tell you that being in a party with a bunch of dudes that don't speak Spanish, and you have tons of women there, you become to be like the highlight of the night. Like, all the women will come talk to you because of the fact that you could speak their language. They like the fact that, because they're interested to see your life, your background. They want to know. So instantly you become to be the life of the party, because of the fact that not only you can speak their language, but also everyone wants you to translate. So it makes it better for you as far as dealing with the women.
I totally agree with you. And also take the time to learn their custom. If you know how to, like, if you're in the Dominican Republic, learning how to merengue and bachata, bro, that alone will draw a lot of people towards you.
Yep.
Just learning how to dance, their culture, man. And again, that'll open a lot of doors for you to meet genuine women. Because again, guys, you don't have to limit yourself to just the pro locations, like the tourist location. You could actually branch out to the other cities and meet regular women. The thing is, a lot of guys don't put the effort to do that. So they're stuck to fishing from the same pool of women, hence why they actually get the same results.
Yep, exactly. And just like what Marty said, he said, constantly going to Sasua, you guys are fighting over the same the same type of female, which is true. I mean, come on, like talk, just referencing DR, dudes will go to the same small little whole place and will say all the women are bad, but never step outside of that 5-block radius. It's like, come on, you haven't had a chance to step outside and see what's really out there. What type of woman is really out there. I mean, especially in the country, that those women, referencing DR, even in Colombia, those women are like, yo, they're the top notch. They will take care of you. I wouldn't say gullible, but they're more, they haven't been through a lot of trauma and dealing with other dudes, in so many words, from being in the city and so forth. So, those are some nice women that you may want to look into as well.
Hey, you know what? Something just popped out of my mind, Solo. What are your thoughts that women who've been involved with other gringos?
See, for that, see, it's kind of, here's the thing, it depends. For me, it all depends. If she been with several gringos and she's solely really love the culture of American culture, it's like, nah, I can't deal with you, because a lot of times, a lot of these gringos, what they do is they'll deal with these women and they will infuse them with their culture. They don't want to learn their culture, which is, whatever country they go to, and they, will try to talk to them in English, and they don't know Spanish. So a lot of times these women, they know English, they've studied from the guys that they're dealing with, and they studied their culture, which more likely, American culture, and that, DR, they do get some of those TV stations, some of those stuff from America, and sometimes they translate that to Spanish. And if you're running from the United States, well, I'm not saying you're running, but you're not looking to get, find a woman in the United States. Why would you go somewhere else and put that culture, that bad, energy into another woman that you're trying to, not deal with that culture, but you're putting that culture into them, and basically you're just recycling the same situation that you're running from, and you're just creating it all over again. So for me, if I were to deal with a woman that actually dealt with gringo, my biggest question comes down to how much information does she know about, the culture I'm coming from, which is the United States. That's what it comes down to.
But also too, I think what type of gringo that she messed with, was it a low Pookie Ray Ray gringo type? Was it a lame Pookie type? It could be a variety of different type of gringo. For me personally, I don't have an issue a woman knowing how to speak English. I've met a lot of women in several countries that took English classes. I kind of respect that. They went to university, they took English classes, and they practiced English. Just because someone knows English doesn't mean this person's been exposed to a lot of gringos. They probably watched a lot of television and they took the time to learn the language. However, I do try to see her behavior and how much she's exposed to the negative part of our culture. If she try to emulate that, then that's not that's a red flag for me. Well,
exactly. I'm going to say is that what type of English does she know is the biggest question. Does she know all the curse words? Does she know slang? That's why I'm like, nah. You're dealing with the low hanging fruit type of gringo that's all up into trap music, bringing that stuff down there and infusing that culture into them. And like you said, I respect the woman that knows English, that have studied and so forth, which is really cool. I like that. But if she's like learning all the bad slangs and things like that, I'm like, nah.
It's funny. I went to Brazil. I went to Salvador. I was in Bahia, Salvador, in Brazil, and I met this woman. And we were just talking, and she started speaking to me in English. And I told her, how did you learn how to speak English? Like, I took English classes for 2 years, and I was like, wow. And I'm like, she spoke good English. And again, I'm in Bahia, Brazil. Not too many gringos go to Bahia. But for her, it was a career opportunity for her to speak English. So she took that chance. So guys, don't look down upon someone who speaks English in their country because they took the time to learn it. Now, granted, it's how she used English. If she's constantly referencing slangs and certain terms that, we hear in the States, then yeah, that's a red flag. But she speaks English where it's a good conversational English and it's proper English. Dude, kudos to her. I respect it.
Exactly. Hey, I gotta say what up to is J Cloud. I see he's in the building, man.
Yeah.
He's next up to get join the passport bro married life. So nah.
Hey, it's all good, man. Like, you know what? I'll be the first to admit I've been in a relationship with a Dominican for the past 7 years now. And I watched her growth has been amazing. From someone who struggled how to speak English to now she speaks good English. I actually invested her to speak English, to take English classes. So guys, if you do meet someone that you have an interest in, if you want to invest into her and become a better person, then go ahead and do that. There's nothing wrong with that. If she wants to take English classes, the English class in those countries is like $50, and she's going to utilize it to advance herself. Why not? Support her on that. But again, make sure that you vetted that person, that okay, this person is genuine, this person has an interest in you. Because again, some people may see you as a come up, and this is what it is. And we've seen stories where people will bring women back to the States, some, not all, and things didn't work out. So guys, but also I've seen many men who married foreigners who came to the States are doing very well. So again, guys, don't look at someone else's experience to determine what your experience is going to be like with a foreigner. You create that experience.
Exactly. Well, first I'm gonna say that I'll be messing with Jay Clark just in case you guys take that to offense. I'm trying to mess with him. No, I should be messing with him, so he knows that I'll be messing with him. But I did want to talk about the whole thing about the experience about dudes that actually have brought women over to the States and things like that. There's I know that there's always that thing about there's that green card hustle with especially with Dominican women and so forth. But I know a lot of brothers that actually marry Dominican women and they've been with them for years in the States, and it's because they did proper vetting. I know one brother, actually I think they're going on 9-10 years or so. He been married to his Dominican wife, and he preached about their relationship and everything. And the thing about it is just because another person's situation didn't go right doesn't mean that it's gonna be bad for everybody else, because we are our own people. People are different. Your vetting is different. What did you do to vet? Where did you meet this woman at? There is several questions. Did you ignore the red flags? So where did you meet her at? Was you at this, at the Northern Beach area, or did you actually go somewhere else and met her? What was her past? So there is a lot of factors into it. There is some brothers, of course, who have jumped down there and picked up women from the beach area, made them their main, and of course that situation, of course she's gonna leave you. She's in the past life.
I know one particular person married someone from the beach area, and bro, she did a 360 turnaround to the point where she became a nurse. She's a nurse now in Atlanta, Georgia, and they got kids. I'm like, whoa.
Yep.
So again,
that situation can happen. However, there is a lot of these dudes who just it's hard for me to say. I hate to try to put that experience out there, mainly because a lot of these dudes don't even want to speak the language or even learn the culture. So they easily pull a fast one on them. If you're not interested in learning her culture, learning how she moves, what makes her happy, what do you expect is going to happen? So and I know that there are some like you said, some of those ex-women who want to change and want to have a better life and so forth. But hey. It's up to you. Want to take a chance on that, because of course, situations and trauma and stuff that goes with that, dealing with tons of men. And she's been in the situation that, she, seen a lot of money at one point. She knows what to do with money, so, so she may have a lifestyle that she's used to. And do you want to continue funding that lifestyle?
Yeah, definitely. And guys, saw a little video last week. Was it last week on the vetting of foreign women? Guys, take the time to check out. I actually add the link onto the description. Make sure you check it out. Give you guys some great tips in vetting a foreign woman before, if you want to take serious. But guys, as you get your passport and travel to these countries, guys, just take your time, man. Enjoy yourself. Don't be in a rush to be a Superman. Enjoy the experience, learn the culture, learn the language, and whatever happens, as far as you want meeting some genuine person, remove yourself from the tourist areas. You got to go out and meet some genuine people.
And don't be afraid to vet these women for years. I know I was on a panel with a brother who married his Dominican wife. He was vetting her for I think it was 7 years. They were dating, before he actually got married to her. I'm sure you guys may see him on YouTube now as Pro For You. Good brother. Right now he's living in DR right now with his wife. But hey, if you need to take your time, take your time. Make sure you vet every single thing about her, because remember, some of these countries it's hard to get a divorce too. Or if you get a divorce in the States, do you really want to do it in the States, if you go bring her up here or whatever. So so you want to be careful for all those situations. You still want to protect yourself, same thing like you do in the States. Protect yourself in another country too.
I totally agree with that. I know it's getting late for you on your part, and you got some things you need to do. Is there last thing you want to close out, unless you still got more time?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, let me close it out. For those of you, if you do check out the video that I did last week, just want to let you guys know I was sick, so I couldn't really go into details. So I'm glad I had a chance to do this with you, Black Man Options. Black Man Travel. Sorry about that.
That's all good. That's all good,
I'm glad I had a chance to really.
Rest in peace to Charles Tyler, man. He was one of the pioneers that helped start this movement, guys.
Exactly. But I got a chance to really go into details because I feel a lot better, because when I did that video I was sick and
you were struggling, bro. Listen, I was like, you were like, I'm like, you struggling.
I was dying. Yo,
I feel bad for you because I'm listening to him taking notes, and I'm like, damn, he's suffering.
Yeah, man, but I have finally found the time to do the video, and that's why I did it, because a couple of brothers were asking me about it, and I'm like, let me do this for you guys. Let me finally release this video. And because I was on vacation for like 2 weeks, but I was constantly working, because my personal life, but I own real estate, and I was getting one of my properties ready, and I just for the past 3 months it's just been rough trying to release these videos, because doing my regular job and doing my real estate and everything that has taken up a lot of my time, and I still wanted to try to help out as much people as I can for those that are traveling, trying to change their life and so forth. So yeah, man, I was struggling.
Well, hey guys, if you guys haven't subscribed to Solo Travel ORD, make sure to check him out. This guy, we travel together, we party together. I met him in person. A great guy, great source of information. Make sure to subscribe to him. He keep you in the know what's going on across the traveling world, especially in Colombia.
Yep, that's right, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Hope I catch you the next one.
yeah, man. Like I said, man, I may end my Dominican Republic trip a little bit sooner. I'm kind of bored out here. I'm ready to get back to the grind, man. It's kind of weird. It's like when you grind, you want to take a break, but once you take that break, you're kind of eager to get back to it.
Yeah.
So,
man, at least at least one good thing is that at least your health is good enough for you to do that, and you're feeling better. Because a lot of times we need to take that break, so that we can get back to grinding, and or else, of course, we'll kill ourselves, especially being in the United States, constantly working, especially when you're used to constantly working every single day, 12 hours a day, or even 9 to 10 hours, it gets tiring on your body, and sometimes you don't even notice it. So, it's good that you took the opportunity.
It's funny, my girl's telling me, like, man, you sleep every day. Like, you wake up, eat, you go back to sleep. Like, I'm averaging about 18 hours of sleep. And she's like, are you okay? Like her concern is like, do I need to take you to the hospital? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm okay. You're sleeping a lot. I'm like, I'm bored. It's like, that's all I want to do is sleep. But anyway, Solo, thanks for taking the time to jump on this podcast, man. I appreciate it, man. Let me know if you need me to jump on yours, man. I'm always available to make myself, add my 2 cents on this
No
topic.
problem. I might be having something really soon. I'm on the whole series about dating and marriage. For YouTube right now. So so I'm
That's
definitely
7
gonna have
years,
something really
man.
soon.
So I have 7 years. I can definitely give you some of my experience. And again, I'm not afraid to share some of my experience with you guys. Guys, we're just here to protect you guys and keep you guys in the know. Not everything you see and hear is all green, peachy and great. There's a lot of bullshit out there, and we just want to make sure that you guys are squared away.
Yep, and our relationship is not always, rosy colors and so forth. Every time we just want to be like, yo, leave me alone.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes, man, you see this bad person right in front of you. You're not even able to do that. It's like, I'm going to sleep, man. It is what it is, man. It's what it is, man. But thanks, Solo. I appreciate you stopping through, man.
Thanks. Talk to you later, man.
Later, brother. Yeah, guys. So we just gave you guys the tips on how to avoid certain women overseas. Like I said before, we've seen the game happen many times, and we've seen a lot of great guys get played. We've seen a lot of great guys meet quality women and married, family with kids, and living their best lives either domestic or overseas. But guys, make sure you have a vetting process in place, man. The same vetting process you have within the United States. Make sure that you apply that overseas. Don't overlook the red flags. And that's the problem with today's relationship. We tend to overlook the red flags and think that everything's going to be great, it's going to change, but it's not. So there's certain things we need to actually go and just apply the same rules and tactics that we do within the United States, apply it overseas.